What is going on, ladies and genitals? YOTESLAYA here, bringing you one of the first multiplayer commentaries I've done in a while. Due to popular request, I'm going to do this commentary over my trip to Hawaii. I've been back a couple weeks now. If you did not know, me and my brother-in-law Ryan, we went to Honolulu, Waikiki, on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, and we had a trip of a lifetime. Obviously, you can see that we are playing Battlefield 3 right here. This is my second attempt at this commentary. I carried on the last commentary about 30 minutes, and I wanted to keep it in this slot of 18. So I'm redoing this, and I'm going to leave out some of the stupid details that I put at the beginning. Like, I rambled on for like 5 minutes about nothing, and I think it kind of hurt my commentary. So let's just get right into this. So, we're going to get on to this trip to Hawaii. It's a Sunday. We're getting ready to go leave. We're here in Indiana. It's like 15 degrees, blizzard conditions, stuff like that. Layovers in Indianapolis and all that good junk. And we're imagining to ourselves how great will it be to be butt naked in Hawaii. And because we'd never been there, we had no idea what it was going to be. We never got butt naked, by the way. Well, Thursday night I might have. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But I don't remember. So we ended up flying from Indianapolis to Detroit. We were in Detroit for about 2 hours, then we flew to Seattle. We were in Seattle for about 2 hours, and then we made the maiden journey all the way to Hawaii. We got into Hawaii at 10:30 p.m. their time on a Monday. So, it was so funny because before we got on the plane, we were like, dude, when we get to Hawaii, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And since we got in there at 10:30 their time, it was like 4:30 our time because they're 6 hours ahead. And like, when we're on the plane, we're like, dude, when we get there, I'm fucking crashing, man. I ain't doing nothing. I'm so tired. Well, when we get there, it's 10:30 and the pub's right down the road. We can hear people partying. So, of course, we had to go walk around. We didn't go into the pub that first night. We just went to the ocean, was walking around and stuff like that. So Monday was pretty uneventful, but we got there pretty late in the night. 10:30 anyway. So Tuesday we wake up. We rented when we woke up Tuesday, we went to the beach. We walked down the road to the beach because our hotel was right near it. And we just kind of, hung out for about an hour just looking at things. We were trying to catch crabs on the rock. Not really trying to catch crabs, but debating how bad it would hurt if we tried to catch crabs and then fall on the lava rock. But we never really actually tried. So we did that for about an hour when we first woke up, right at daylight, because we woke up when it was still dark there because we were used to overtime. And, for the rest of that day, we rented a Jeep Wrangler while we were there, which is a stupid decision. Don't ever rent a vehicle if you're going to Hawaii. There's taxis and stuff everywhere. We used the Jeep Wrangler 2 times while we were there, and we had to spend, it was like $900 to rent it. It was stupid. But that first day, we got in the Jeep Wrangler. We drove all the way around the island of Oahu. We made a couple trips there at like the North Shore. We spent a couple. We got out at a couple beaches, walked down to the water, laid out at a couple stuff like that. But we pretty much wanted, like, Tuesday was just like us, just kind of seeing the island, driving around, doing our own thing. We didn't really have anything special going with that. So Tuesday, that's all we did. We drove around, went to a couple beaches, and went back, kicked it at the pub and stuff like that. So come Wednesday, we ended up going to Pearl Harbor, which was something I never honestly thought I would ever do in my life, and one of the places I wanted to be the most. And the only thing we didn't get to do there was visit the Arizona, which was what I wanted to do the most. That when you think of Pearl Harbor and you see images of Pearl Harbor, you see the Arizona on almost every brochure, whatever. We didn't get to do that. I'll explain why. We actually bought a package that was prepaid for everything. It was 6 in the morning to 5 at night. We got to go to every museum. A bus took us around as a tour. We got to get on the Missouri, the battleship that's still standing. We went all the way through that and seen like their bunks and stuff like that. Is pretty awesome. We got to go actually to the hangars that it still existed were standing. The lighthouse that was still standing. If you've seen the movie Pearl Harbor where they go up and shoot at the Japanese planes while they're, flying by, that lighthouse, that's actually still there, the one that was in the movie. And it's crazy because in the hangars, there's actually still bullet holes from where the Japanese planes were just lighting up the hangars. It's all still original. They're now museums. with like planes and stuff in there. But it was just so surreal being on that land where all that stuff went down. One of the most pivotal moments in U.S. history. And you're standing there. Like, I was asking my tour guides, like, what ways did the Japanese come in? And, you know, just looking out over the mountains and imagining those Japanese planes coming in and attacking, imagining the chaos is just nuts, man. It was just so surreal. Ryan, my brother-in-law that went with me, asked me yesterday what was my the best thing about Hawaii, and I told him Pearl Harbor was my first, skydiving probably second, because, you know, it was just, I love Pearl Harbor. I'm thinking about going back to Hawaii again next month, and if I do, I'm going to try to visit the Arizona once again, or finally, because it's just, I want to bad, you know. So they got the USS Utah, which is another ship. They're thinking about opening up as part of the like museum and stuff, but for now it's just sank over there. It's the forgotten ship and stuff like that. Pretty sad that they make a memorial out of all these others, and then the 56 or so that died on the USS Utah are still laying over there in their watery graves, and you never really hear anything about them. Most people probably don't even know the USS Utah is actually exposed over on the other side of the island that it's on. So it's pretty crazy. That was my number one trip, seeing all the museums. They had a guy there that was actually, there's a couple people there that were actually alive as children. Obviously, when the attack went down, they were given their, you know, the memory of it and, you know, stuff like that. And it was pretty crazy. If you ever get a chance to go to Hawaii, especially on Oahu, Pearl Harbor is definitely a very surreal place. It was amazing. If there was one word, it was amazing for me. I don't know about Ryan, but it was amazing for me. So we did Pearl Harbor. It went from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. It took up pretty much all our day. So we get back at about 5 p.m. We end up going down to the pub that's down the road. We went to the pub every night towards the end of the evening, or towards the end of the week. We were actually regulars there. By the way, I've had pictures up at the top right hand of the screen of our trip, you know, just various pictures and stuff like that. This entire commentary, I hope you enjoyed them. I forgot to say that at the beginning. So we go to the pub, we have a few drinks, whatnot, and that's the end of Wednesday. So Thursday comes, we get up, we got to be down at the docks at 5:30 a.m. because we are going deep sea fishing. So we head out deep sea fishing. We only got a half day. Because I didn't want to fish all day. Ryan had never been deep sea fishing, never on a boat really, and I didn't know if he was going to get seasick, so I tried to help him out with that. Kind of wish we would have did all day, but half day was good. We went on the ship. It was called Warsaw, the Whipsaw, I apologize. And Mike and Eric were actually the captain and deckhand, and they were the two of the coolest people I've ever met in my life, dude. Everybody in Hawaii was freaking awesome except for one bastard ass cab driver, but everybody else was like the coolest people ever. Like before we left, people were like, dude, beware, they hate like mainland people and they'll, you know, try to rob me and stuff like that. Dude, we walked around in the middle of the night and nothing ever happened. I have nothing but the best to say about people from Hawaii. So we go fishing. Me and Ryan didn't actually catch anything. Kid on the boat that was there with his dad actually caught a little mahi-mahi, which is pretty cool. We didn't catch anything, like I said, but seeing the only kid on the boat catch something was pretty awesome. You know, if I would have wanted one person to catch a fish, I would have rather had the kid catch it. You know, I'm not greedy. It didn't really matter to me. I've been deep sea fishing before, caught fish, so I wasn't, you know, upset about it. But it was just cool. Eric and Mike were two of the coolest, genuine dudes ever. And here's some of their story. You know, we were on that boat for 6 hours just trolling around, and some of their stuff we talked about, like old Samoan, like Polynesian, like trade, you know, like whatever you want to say it, like legends and stuff. Like, I don't know, it was just some of the best stories while I was there were just native folklore of stuff that they did back in the day, like waterfalls where they used to drown people for like different reasons, stuff like that. It was pretty nuts, but it was definitely interesting. So we go fishing. We don't catch anything. We get back about 12 to 1, somewhere around in there. And then at 1:30, we had a 2-hour tour on the Blue Hawaiian helicopters where they actually flies around the island. and show us like different volcanoes, different beaches. You know, we actually seen where Monte Teo grew up, the neighborhood. That's actually where Obama spends his Christmases, in the same neighborhood. I forget what the little town is. So it was pretty cool. You know, not much you could say. We actually flew over Pearl Harbor. We got to see some of the nuclear submarines that were based, because Pearl Harbor is on an active military naval base still. And, you know, technically you aren't supposed to fly over it, but the dude did. And you're not, but when you're at Pearl Harbor, they tell you not to take pictures of the nuclear submarines coming in, you know, from the bay. You know, we're in the helicopter and everybody's snapping pictures of these submarines. And it was the most awkward 10 seconds of this helicopter pilot's life. I was like, dude, when we were at Pearl Harbor, they told us not to take pictures of the subs. And there was like a 10-second pause. Like, nobody said anything. And then he was just like, well, I didn't tell you to take pictures of them, did I? It was just like, Ryan was like, dude, you blue-balled him so bad. Like, busted him so hard. I was like, I don't know, dude. It is what it is. I didn't mean anything. But, yeah, that's what we did. We went to the helicopter, and then when we got done with that, we went back to the pub. And that is where all the fun starts. Okay, so we're at the pub. We're hammering some pitchers of beer and stuff like that. And I'm starting to buzz pretty good. And Ryan's on this pitcher of beer, and I'm actually wanting to leave the pub because there's no females in there at the moment. I'm like, and Ryan's taking forever on this pitcher of Bud Light. And I'm like, dude, are you ever going to finish the Bud Light? Because I'm seriously going to leave if you don't. And he's like, well, then leave. And I'm like, then fuck it, I am. So I leave, and I start walking down this strip that's like all through like the main action there in Waikiki. And I'm walking down, and the first bar that I come on is actually B-Dubs. So I go in. And when I walk in, there's a few people there, mainly sitting at the bar. And I go sit at the end of the bar. And there's a pretty cute Hawaiian, Polynesian, Samoan chick bartending. Got like all her tattoos and stuff down her arm, because like tattoos actually have meaning there, and it's pretty awesome to hear the stories. Like, I asked most of them that I was cool with. I didn't just go up to random people like, hey, bro, what's your tattoo mean, you know? So she's bartending. There's a dude to my right, and I actually tried talking to him a couple times, and he was just like a dick. He wouldn't talk to me at all. There was a fight, like a UFC fight on, and I would, like, something would happen, I'd talk to him, and he would just, like, not even say a word. So I was just sitting there like, motherfucker. So finally his friend comes and sits down in between us. You know, there's like 3 seats in between the first guy and I, and then a dude sits next to him. And, you know, not for any reason. He just sits there because it's his friend. And I'm kind of like talking to this waitress, and then somehow, I'm not really sure because I was buzzed by this point, I start talking to these guys again, and it ends up that the guy that sat down last is the bartender's boyfriend. Like, she's his girlfriend, you know. And I'm like messing around, stuff like that, because when I'm drunk I act stupid and I try to make people laugh. And, you know, so I'm like talking all this shit to these guys, making everybody laugh. She's giving me free shots and stuff. And you know, they're like, dude, what are you doing now? I'm like, I don't know, man. My brother's down at this pub over there. They're like, dude, you need to go with us. I'm like, dude, where are we going? And they're like, Club 7. I'm like, what the fuck is Club 7? And they're like, dude, it's like an underground dance club, man. It's always hopping. I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I'm going. So I go. I don't even really know how I got there because I'm drunk as shit by this point. So we get there, and like, you know, I call my brother-in-law, Ryan. I'm like, dude, we're at this Club 7, man. I guess you can get in a cab and just ask for Club 7. So he finally ends up there, you know, and I'm buying. I got a tab at each bar. There's 2 bars on both sides. I got a credit card at each tab, and all these people, dude. I don't even know how much money I spent on alcohol this night, dude. Like almost $1,000. No, actually, it's like $900, almost $1,000. But you know, I'm like their friends are there. These people that I met that are from Hawaii that took me there, they've got friends there. Ryan's there. I'm like, dude, everybody, it's on me, you know. Dude, we're just having a fucking blast. At one point, there's people battling out on this dance floor that's right in between the bars, and I look at my brother Ryan. I'm like, dude, are we gonna go, or you dare me to go out there and do the WAP? He's like, you won't do it. So I go out there in the middle of all these people battling, and I do the WAP dance, you know, that Miley Cyrus did. Funniest shit ever, dude. Later on, he was like, dude, you walked out there like you didn't give a fuck what anybody thought. It's like, I didn't, dude. Fuck that shit. So, you know, that's Club 7. That's the last memory I have is dancing the WAP. That was somewhere about 1 a.m., okay? The rest of the night is pretty much a blackout. This is like a hangover moment. I remember being at an apartment with this chick. Don't remember what happened. I don't know what happened. I didn't bang her or anything like that. I know that much. But I end up at this apartment with this chick. I remember that vaguely, okay? I remember getting kicked out of the bar right at the end because I couldn't find, I told you I had 2 tabs with 2 credit cards. I had one in my hand. I couldn't find the other one. Turns out it was in my cargo pocket of my shorts. And I ended up getting thrown out, not in a violent way, but in a way where they're like, I don't give a fuck where your credit card is. You got to go now. It was actually when it was closing, so it was like, it was all good. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I remember the apartment with that chick, and I don't remember anything else at all. It's like a complete blackout until 5:30 in the morning. I'm at Honolulu Airport that is 30 minutes away from our hotel, needing a taxi because I'm starting to sober up and realize where the fuck I'm at. And I'm at Honolulu Airport, dude, and I turn around and there's like 15 homeless dudes behind me because homelessness in Hawaii is crazy. And there's like all these homeless dudes behind me. I don't know who I called to get a cab, but a cab eventually came. I made it back to the freaking hotel and passed the fuck out, dude. But as far as what happened that night, don't ask me. That's what I was saying earlier. I could have been naked in Hawaii. I don't know what happened. I could have... For all I know, I'm like on Hawaii's Most Wanted right now, like streaking down the boulevards because I don't remember anything, okay? And it's just crazy like that. So we pass out Thursday night. Ryan left me at the bar, by the way. I was separated on my own. Don't ask us how we got separated. He went his own way, I guess. I went my own way. I ended up at the airport. He was back at the hotel. Shit's crazy. So we finally get back there all together, both of us, and we just passed the fuck out. Well, Friday we were supposed to be in cages with sharks, and that was supposed to be at like 8 in the morning. Too hungover at this point. We'd only been in bed like 3 hours. That's a no-go. We didn't go. So we wake up. Because we were supposed to be in the sharks the majority of the day, we're like, dude, what are we going to do the rest of the day? So I go down there and I try to, because at the hotel we were at, we could schedule all this stuff we were doing through them. Well, they didn't do skydiving because of the, like the risk. But he did tell us about this 101 Things to Do magazine. So I go get it and I find skydiving. Well, I call that about skydiving. They come pick us up. We're going to go skydiving. We're all pumped and shit. And it turns out that it's too cloudy. They won't let anybody jump. So we were there for like 3, almost 4 hours waiting to be able to go skydiving and then end up getting to go. So, that was like a waste of a Friday. So that's what happened. No, that was on Saturday. I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. That was on a Friday. My bad. And, so that was like a waste of a Friday. We go back in town finally. We go to the pub. We start drinking again. So Saturday comes. We get up. We go to Kailua Park where they filmed Jurassic Park. Where they filmed scenes of Pearl Harbor, where they filmed scenes for We Were Soldiers, for 51st Dates, like all these freaking movies. We were there and we drove ATVs around. We were actually right there by the log that's in Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs are running through the field and they hide behind that log. Like there'll be pictures up on the screen right now to where you guys can see this. And it was just amazing, man, seeing all that stuff where Journey to Mysterious Island, the set of Atlantis was there, and we couldn't actually take pictures of for stupid reasons, but the whole set of Atlantis from Journey to Mysterious Island was still standing. And it was just freaking awesome. That was one of my favorite trips, doing the ATV. Like I said, I'll have pictures up there. It was pretty much just riding around in a canyon where they filmed all this stuff, so very much to say. And we're kind of catching up on 18 minutes, so I don't know what I'm going to put at the end. So after we do the ATV, we're good to go. We got skydiving. Actually, when we get done with the ATV, they call us and they're like, hey, man, they're letting people jump today. Well, you want to try to come in here today? I'm like, well, if you can come get it, or, we can drive there, or you can get it, pick us up at the hotel and get it at 1:30. And he's like, well, we'll be there at 1:30, dude. So they pick us up. We go, and I think it speaks for itself. We ended up getting to go skydiving. I do have a skydiving video for that. I'll put it in the description if you guys want to check out. So we ended up going skydiving. That is just nuts, dude. If you've never been skydiving, like I wasn't nervous at all until they opened up the door and I seen the first person jump out, and I was like, oh, fuck. This is about to go down. And then, I'm gradually scooting up and it's closer to my turn. And then when I get to the door and I look down, it's just like, oh my God, dude. And then you're just gone. You just jump out. And it feels like somebody's spraying like an air compressor in your face. Like the air is so powerful in your mouth and your nostrils. It's just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It doesn't, it was like a 45-second free fall, but it feels like about 5. I'm not joking. And the part that sucks is when they pull the chute, because the straps that go between your leg, dude, it is super, super fierce. Like, it hurts so bad. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, just be prepared for that chute. I tell everybody to go skydiving. It's definitely an amazing experience. So, we will go skydiving. I'm going to try to wrap this up quick, and then we go home. We go to the pub. We get our drink on, stuff like that. By this time, we're regulars. They all know our name. They're giving us that first-class service, hooking us up with drinks, stuff like that, man. So that was Saturday. Sunday is the day we're leaving. We get up. We actually went deep-sea fishing before we got on our plane. I actually caught my mahi. I'm getting it mounted. I'll have a picture of it when it's finally here. We were out there the half a day again. I caught the mahi. Ryan got seasick, and just enjoyed that last little 5-6 hours that we were there. Hawaii is amazing. Then we got on the plane. Actually, we go to the airport thinking our plane's at 2:30, but it wasn't until 7:30. So we had like 5 hours at the airport, which actually like almost 7, which sucked ass because we could have done so much more in Hawaii. But it is what it is. We did everything we possibly could, and it was amazing. So at 7:30, we get on a plane to fly home. We fly all the way into Chicago. We actually get here the next day for us, and we get here to Chicago like 8:30 in the morning, and then we fly to Indianapolis, and then we make our trip home, and that is my Hawaiian trip. Sorry I rushed it there towards the end, but the gameplay's over, and I didn't want to go too long. But yeah, man, it was just freaking amazing. Hawaii is definitely a place that I will move when I retire or something, because it's just awesome. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my Hawaiian stories, and I will talk to all you bros later. Bye-bye.